guys, every year, and today finally I have my fall 2018 book haul. This year unfortunately I couldn't afford to buy enough books to justify a book haul each month, so I decided to do seasonal ones. But I did accumulate a few books and graphic novels during the last 3 months, so without further ado I'm gonna show you that. A few of them are still in boxes. It was painful, but I left them there so we can open them together. A few of them are graphic novels, unfortunately no manga. This time I just preferred buying books or graphic novels. I'm gonna pick them up, I'm gonna bring them all here. I'm gonna have like really bad backache tomorrow. But anyway, let's do this. So we have the boxes. I'm gonna put them down, and here is the big huge box where I put all of the books that I actually took out of the boxes, the original packages, and I put them here. So we have all of these, the boxes that I show you, and a few outside. I think I'm gonna start with the few outside, open the boxes, and then finally get through these, or maybe get through these and then open the boxes. We will see. Let's go. I was expecting a sunny day to film this, and then I remember I was in London and I was not gonna get in November a sunny day. Anyway, and also there is another one that I ordered and my order got cancelled, so that's why this took so long, because I was waiting for that book and it didn't come out. So I will reorder it some other place and maybe it will be my winter book haul. First of all, a couple of books that I found last week in the charity shop, and the first one is The Miniaturist by Jessie Barton. I'm probably butchering the name of it, I'm sorry. And this is about this girl that gets married off to this merchant, and she goes to live in Amsterdam in this house, and he gives her as a gift for their wedding this kind of small replica of their house, and a miniaturist go there and recreate all the details. And I think that weird things start to happen in this house, and those things that happen in the house are reflected in the replica of the house. I mainly bought this for the cover, and to be in a charity shop it was in like really good conditions. And yeah, it's historical fiction. I've heard a little bit about this a couple of years ago. We will see when I get around to it. And then the other one I actually own on my Kindle, but if you know me, you know I hate reading on my Kindle, so I found these for like less than £2 at the charity shop. Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Yeah, the spine is a little bit damaged, so I don't know. Let's see how I like this book and so on. I do have a copy on my Kindle, but I will end up reading this definitely. And this is about this dystopian world. This world, people don't die anymore, so they devised this system that there are these people called the Scythe that go and decide who to kill off, basically, because they need to control the population. And then this girl and this guy, if I'm not mistaken, they are chosen to learn how to be Scythe, so they need to learn how to basically kill off people. But I'm really excited about this. I love the idea of Grim Reapers and the fact that there are actually people doing them. I'm glad I found a physical copy for myself. Got a book that I already read, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, and this is a high fantasy first book in a series, all Asian cast of characters, which is awesome. I did talk about this in my wrap-up. This is about this girl that comes from nothing, and she decides that she wants to go to this prestigious military school, and she has to pass this really hard test in order to get in. And at the beginning of the story, she is preparing this test to get in this military school while war is at their doors. That's all I'm gonna say. Yes, this is a big book. And then lastly, outside all the boxes, I have something that you might have already saw in my bookshelf tour. I'll link it up here if you want to know all of the books that I own. It's a really long video, but yeah, it's my bookshelf tour for 2018. And now I have the master editions of Lock and Key. Let me see, I'll show you the volumes in order. So I've got Lock and Key volume 1, and this actually contains 2 normal volumes by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. Show you some of the art. And this is the master edition, so hardcover, and there are just 3 volumes in the master editions as the series is already completed. And I also read these, and you can find it in my wrap-up. I read all the series this month. And then we've got volume 2 of the master editions, and finally volume 3. And yeah, they're beautiful books, very expensive, I will admit, but I heard amazing things about this series and I definitely wanted to try out. I knew I was gonna love it, so I took a leap of faith and I was not wrong. Anyway, and the premise of this is that this family moves in this house after a tragedy struck, and this house is really peculiar house as it holds all these kind of keys that have some kind of magical powers. And I don't want to really say anything else, but know that this is an adult series. It's really violent, bloody, and I loved it. Spoiler, if you have not watched my videos, it's become one of my favorites, so I definitely recommend this to anybody who is a grown-up and likes bloody horror stuff. We'll leave the unboxing for last, so I will do the big one. I will show you in a second. Yeah, let's see what is in here. So I'm gonna open it, destroy something in the meantime probably, and let's see what's inside here. First of all, we have The Beloved by Marie Lindley. I found this comic book store and Forbidden Planet in London. There was like kind of buy 3 pay 2, something like that. I've never heard of this, but this is about 2 girls. One is really privileged, beautiful, and everything she does is perfect, and the other one not so much. And then one day this lucky sister inherits something that the other sister thinks it's hers. It's kind of an estate made of this lush forest and weird rocks. I didn't get that really well from the synopsis, but basically she goes on this journey to repossess this estate that she thinks is hers because her sister has already everything, and I think things will get pretty ugly. I picked this up because behind on the blurb is written an exploration of domestic derangement as sinister as Daphne du Maurier's classic Rebecca, which I loved. So in here for 15 minutes and I cannot take all of these off. Anyway, it will come off when I have time, but since I don't want to film for like 3 hours, I will take care of these later. And speak of Rebecca, this is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, a book that I read a year ago more or less and I absolutely loved. Find this in charity shop in perfect conditions apart from this bloody thing that will come off. For. It's kind of a modern classic. It's about this woman that it's never named in the book, and she marries this man that has lost his wife, and he takes her to live in their family mansion in a beautiful place in England. But when she goes there, she finds out that Rebecca, the previous wife, she's still very much a presence in the house and among the people that work and live around the house. And it's eerie and beautifully written. I definitely suggest, if you want to check this book out and if you want to start with Daphne du Maurier, to start from here. It's an amazing piece of work in my opinion. Other one that I got in the bargain at Forbidden Planet, one I gifted to my friend, but 2 I kept, and the second one is God Blind by Anna Stevens. And this is a fantasy about these 2 kingdoms next to each other that after a long period of war have known a bit of peace. When the wife of one of the kings of these 2 kingdoms, she dies, he's left grieving his wife, so the other kingdom rulers decide that they will exploit this weakness. And I heard that this is really bloody and it's really cruel and explicit, my type of books, so I did want to check it out. Also, I loved the cover, and yeah, hopefully I will read this really soon. Then I've got The Iron Warrior by Julie Kagawa. I found this in a charity shop, perfect conditions, so I picked it up, and this is the conclusion to Julie Kagawa series, The Iron Fae it's called, and it's about faes. And I've heard good things about the series. I've not started yet. I should have the first book if I'm not mistaken, and then I need to get my hands on the second one. But yeah, now I have the conclusions. I think it's a trilogy. Don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments down below. Then I've got Strange Practice, a Dr. Greta Helsing novel by Vivian Shaw, and this is about this woman that works in London, and she's a doctor, but she's a doctor for natural creatures. And then one day a natural creature starts to get killed and she needs to find out what's going on. I have to admit that it sounded like my cup of tea, although since then I've heard people not really loving this. But I don't hate this book. People gave it like kind of like a negative review or just meh review, so I'm a little bit hesitant, although I'm gonna keep this book no matter what, even if I don't like it, because of this. And yes, I bought it for the cover. I'm just sometimes, you know, I'm a book collector and this cover is just awesome. Plus it does sound like my jam, so hopefully I love it despite all the other reviews. Then I've got Never Word Wake by Marisha Pesso. I read by her and loved Night Film, so when I knew that she was coming out with a new book, I had to get my hands on it. It's about this girl that a year before the start of the book, she lost her boyfriend in a weird accident, and her friends are the only one having answers. And then one day they find themselves in a near collision with their car, and when they wake up, they are in this weird place where basically they are in a kind of like limbo, and just one of them can get out of the limbo and keep living, and the other ones will have to die, and they have to make a choice in an amount of time about who will live and who will remain behind. It has to be their choice. Otherwise, if they don't choose, I think they will all die. Something like that. Pretty cover, and I loved her other book, so hopefully I will love this as much as Night Film, or possibly even more. Then I'm continuing on my collection of Kate Daniels novels. This is Magic Strikes by Ilona Andrews, and this is book number 3 in the series. It's a urban fantasy about this girl that she's a mercenary at the beginning of the first book. She hunts supernatural creatures in Atalanta, if I'm not mistaken, where there are weird shifts of magic and technology. Basically, when the magic is up, technology doesn't work, and vice versa, or something like that. I never got that perfectly right. Anyway, I've been enjoying the first 2 books. I really kick-ass female protagonist, and yeah, so far has been quite good. Then I've got Ritual by Mo Haider. I read this year The Devil of Nanking, and yeah, I'm just gonna link up here my review of that book. Destroyed me. So when I found this in the charity shop for a really good price, I decided to pick her up. She's definitely an author that I will be following. I think when it comes down to horror thriller, she's the best. I mean, she can literally make you shit your pants just by writing a book, which is not easy. Usually I don't get scared with books, and The Devil of Nanking gave me the creeps for days. Anyway, this is about this detective that they found this hand underwater and there is no body attached, and then a few days later they find the other hand, and both hands have been amputated while the victim was still alive. So these 2 detectives, they start this manhunt in Bristol, and I don't know anything else. I think it's, yeah, a detective story. It will probably be creepy and bloody and hopefully awesome. We will see. Yeah, it's a huge paperback, which is but whether for £1 if we're gonna go with it. But A Series of Unfortunate Events. This is with Very Slow, book number 10th. I am collecting these from the charity shops. I wanted the hardcovers. I think I'm just missing 2, and then I have all of them, and there are illustrations for them that of course now I cannot find to show you. But yeah, they come in great conditions, and everybody knows this. This is by Nemone Snicket, right? Then I've got Walk with Earth, A Stranger by Ray Carson. She wrote the A Girl of Fire and Thorn trilogy, which I read. I liked her writing enough, and when I found this in the charity shop for £2 in really perfect conditions, I picked it up. And this is about this girl that she can see gold, and of course people want to exploit her and use her gifts to find gold. So she moves to California in order to escape someone. I don't know anything about this, but yeah, I guess I will see. Well, then we have Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, book number 5. 6 in the series. I'm up to book number 4 in the series. I need to read number 5. So this is number 6. It's huge, but I love the series, so I will probably love this, hopefully. Then I bought this used, and it's in a horrible condition. Anyway, this is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Hilary Jenkins Reid. I said I bought this used, but if I love this book, I will donate this copy and just buy a better copy, and maybe they will come out with anniversary editions or like a really cool edition, so maybe I will do it then, as this book had an enormous success this year, so hopefully. And yeah, because come on, I'm okay with used book, but this is really horrible conditions. And it's about this woman that recounts her story, and she's kind of a celebrity, and she's been married many times, and I've heard just amazing things from everybody. It's like the best book of 2018 for many people, so hopefully will be the best book of the year I read this in too. But yeah, it's a pity about the conditions, but hopefully, I mean, it seems intact inside, so that's what it matters, right? Then I've got 3 books that I'm actually bringing them from Italy. I didn't buy these, not now. These are Pale Demon and Black Magic Sanction, which I already read. And this is also White Witch Black Curse all by Kim Harrison. And this is another urban fantasy series that I had started many years ago, and I wanted to continue on. So I think I need to read Pale Demon. It's a 9-book series, 10-book series. I think the last one just came out or something. I'm not sure if it's even the last one. And this takes place in Chicago, where this witch Morgan, she gets in a lot of trouble. And I remember I really enjoyed them. They are for adults, so they're explicit. And yeah, I just want to show the cover, which are pretty cool. I like this color behind. Like you can see them like these. I don't know. I think they're pretty cool. Yeah, this one doesn't, of course. But yeah, I'm continuing with the series. Then I've got Lady Mechanica Volume 4, The Clockwork Assassin by Chen, Benitez, Montiel, and Sotelo. And I love the art of these. This is a steampunk graphic novel series that so far has 4 volumes out. Maybe by now the 5th one will come out. I don't know. This is really tiny, but I love the art so much that I will follow this graphic novel until the end. I think it's just stunning, the art. I've read the first 3 volumes, enjoy it enough. Steampunk, and takes place in like Victorian era or something like that. Really strongly suggest this if you like beautiful art or steampunk graphic novels. Then I got another book that I already read, Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J Maas. I'm not really into, this is nothing special, I'm not really into superheroes when it comes down to books or graphic novels, I have to admit, but this one I really liked. And so when I finished reading it from the library, I had to get a copy for myself. Found the hardcover, thought it was gonna be more cool, but yeah, it's nice, but it's nothing special, not under the dust jacket at least. So yeah, this is Catwoman version by Sarah J Maas. We all know Catwoman, right? Then we've got the Six of Crow Collector's Edition by Lee Bardugo with the beautiful red pages. I've not finished the Grisha trilogy, so I've not read these because they suck so bad. Anyway, I've not finished that, but when I found out that they were gonna come out with the collector edition, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my hands on those, because I mean, I like the first book in the trilogy. Everybody and their mothers love this book, so I will probably like this book enough. Plus, it's beautiful. It's gonna stay in my house no matter what. I love colored pages, and hardcovers like these are just, yes. We got to the unboxing part. So let's start with this one. I already know. I bought those, so I know what is inside. Bookmark, but yeah, it's cool. I'm gonna put this in my case from the side. And this is Saga Volume 9. Finally, I can read these. Everybody has been talking about these, and I couldn't read it because I was waiting to do this bloody unboxing for a month. So yeah, finally I can read these. Saga sci-fi fantasy series. Show you some of the art. This is really explicit, sex scenes and violence, especially sex scenes are really explicit. So yeah, and I've heard that the authors are gonna go on a year break at least. So I'm gonna be really sad because this is one of my favorite series. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite series, and I'm gonna miss Saga for sure. I will link up here my favorite graphic novel series. So if you don't know what it's about, or if you're interested to know my favorite series and so on, and me talking about that, you can find here. Then I've got this one, which, yes. Oh, okay. Here we have Sadie by Courtney Summers. Oh, it's beautiful. Ah, look. I don't know if you can see it. There's like a pocket knife on the art cover, and this is about this girl that her sister gets murdered and the killer is never caught, but Sadie, which I think is the bigger sister, she knows, or she thinks she knows who did it, so she goes on the hunt for this killer and she disappears, and you are following her side of the story and a podcast that is following Sadie and what happened to Sadie. I heard that the audiobook is amazing, although I cannot do it. I get too distracted, so I always prefer to read the book, and audiobooks are really for exceptional occasions, or if I just really find a good price, because I don't get all the stories. I get distracted with the audiobook, and it's not like reading a book for me. I prefer to just buy a copy for myself, and it's a beautiful hardcover, although it's a bit tiny, but I love this and how it looks. Hopefully I will love the story too. Then I've got these, which I should know what it is.
One eternity later.
Bloody hell. This is Speak, the graphic novel. Laurie Hall Sanderson, artwork by Emily Carroll. Emily Carroll wrote Through the Woods, which I have, and it's one of my favorite graphic novels as far as art goes. I just love it to pieces. Show you some of the art. Find this inside. What is this? If you know, let me know. So it's the graphic novel of the book, and yeah, I cannot wait to read this. This is I'm so happy this is in my hand. And this is about this girl that she has been sexually assaulted, and it's about how she goes and deals with that, which is a topic that it's really relevant and important. And this combined with Emily Carroll style or art, I think it will work amazing, and I am sure I will love this, and it will break my heart probably. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm definitely ready to have probably a new favorite. And if you know what is this, let me know in the comments down below. It came inside the book. I have no idea. It looks like a sticker. But yeah, I'm not gonna put a sticker on my book. No chances in hell. This box, which is an Amazon box, and we have a few things inside. Box. Oh, finally books you can breathe. I know it's been a long time in that wardrobe. Stranger Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Everybody's been talking about this lately, so I'm sure you know what this is. And this is the new duology or series by Laini Taylor. She wrote Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I still have to read the last book in that trilogy, but I love her writing, and I heard that this is even more amazing than that trilogy, so I will probably end up really loving this, hopefully. I don't love the cover, honestly. I will find an edition in the future where we'll come up with some awesome edition, I'm sure. And this is about Laszlo Strange, that all his life he has been obsessed with this weird city called Weep that has all of a sudden disappeared and has been kind of a legend since then. And then one day an opportunity presents itself for Laszlo to join this group of people and going find what happened to this city. So yeah, I've heard, as I said, amazing things, and her writing is always impeccable. It's just so weird and whimsical and just awesome that I really hope I will love this. Then I have Reaching Down the Rabbit Hole, Extraordinary Journey into the Human Brain by Alan Roper and B.D. Burrell. This is also, I think, a podcast or as read on BBC Radio 4. And this is a non-fiction book. It's about this doctor and his recounts of patients that he had to deal with that suffered from some kind of mental illnesses. I read The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat this year. I really enjoyed it. Plus, this is kind of like my field of studies, so I'm definitely interested in reading these. And yeah, let's see what is there's written down here. Medical writing at its best. Hopefully it's true. Then I've got a new fantasy. I think it's pretty new, fairly recent release, but the author is not new author. He has many books out and I've never read one of those books, although I've heard great things. And this is by Ken Liu, The Wall of Storms. So this is a new book in a new series by him.
A few moments later.
This is the second book. Really?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I just found out after reading the synopsis, so I'm probably spoiling myself, that this is the second book in a series. The first book is called The Grace of Kings. And I probably spoiled myself. But this is so disappointing. I thought it was the first book. Me. We need to get my hands on the first book, which I don't know the synopsis. I know the synopsis of this one. But yeah, I got spoiled and now I need to read it anyway because I cannot start from the second book in a series. I'm depressed right now. Let's move on. Then I've got last book is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is the last book in the Throne of Glass series. Humongous book. We will know what Throne of Glass is about, right? Selena, Sardothian assassin. She gets captured in the first book, and in order to get out of prison she has to go on these trials for the king and become the official assassin for the king. I don't care what other people think. I love the series. I am not up to date with the series, so it's gonna take at least 2 books before I can read this, but I will read this and hopefully I will love the conclusion of the series. I said last book, but not Last in the Hall, because Last in the Hall is Monstrous, Volume 3, Heaven by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. It's another weird fantasy steampunk. This is another beautiful art, really weird, complicated story, fantasy graphic novel series, and it's about this girl that she is born in this world where there are these kind of monsters, and she is part monster, and she has to find out what happened to her mother that got killed or something like that, or she disappeared. Basically, she has to find out what happened in her past. And yeah, the art is stunning. And the second volume got things more clear for me, so I cannot wait to get into the third volume and find out what's going on. From the future here, I just received 3 books and 1 graphic novel, and I thought since it's still technically fall, I would show you and just add a clip here. So I did receive The Grace of Kings. I just showed the second book, which now rests here, The Wall of Storms, by Ken Liu. So I did buy the first book in the series, and this is by Ken Liu. It's a high fantasy adult series, and it's about basically this kingdom that has been reunited under this emperor, but now the emperor is on his deathbed, and people start to be restless and think a war is coming, something like that. Really looking forward to this. Then here I have Moving Pictures by Terry Pratchett, and this is the next book in the Discworld series that I need to read. And these are the hardcovers versions, and I love them. I don't know what this is about, I just know that this is the next one in the series. I don't think it's the 13th or something like that. So yeah, I've received this. Then I've got The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, and this is the next book in the Shadow of the Wind series by him. I loved this Shadow of the Wind book. I think, I don't know if it takes place before that, but I think they are companion books, so you can read them not in order and they're not connected. That's what I think of, but I wanted to just read them in order. So this is technically the second one, although I don't know if it takes place before. And all I know is that this is about David, who lives in this weird house, and he spends his life basically writing these weird, eerie tales. And there is something also eerie going on with the house he's living in, and then one day he's given the task by an editor to write a very special book, and I think it is kind of a mystery, as it was with Shadow of the Wind. At the end of the day, I love that one, so hopefully I will love this as well. I have a graphic novel. I know this is a graphic novel, but I know what I ordered. Let me open this up. Okay, and this is Water Snakes by Tony Sandoval. There's a hardcover. Show you some of the art. Which I'm gonna read right now as soon as I'm done with this clip. And I think this is it's fantasy, dark graphic novel involving a female romance. I don't know anything else. I just heard great things. I love the art when I saw a pic online, and so I decided to try it for myself. And yes, I will let you know more in my wrap up when I read, I think in December, back to my previous self. And that was it for my fall 2018 book haul. Hopefully I will have more books in winter, hopefully, who knows. And I want to thank you for watching this. If you're new, I would love for you to subscribe, so hit the button down below, linked up here the videos that I've mentioned. You're more than welcome to check those out, and I'll see you next time. I wish you a happy day, night, depending on where you are, and see you soon. Ciao!